Oh, hey, hey, hey. Color, 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 color. You know, for good measure. I feel like I'm alone in this galaxy. Is anybody here?
Yo.
Hey, hey, hey.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Saturn.
the moon! Saturn ascends? I feel like I have a lot of things to say today. Where's Murs?
God knows. Probably melted from all the heat that we got up here.
Oh, yeah, summer's finally here.
Yeah,
In,
about
Man,
the same
summer's
time.
been here all
in
year
Washington.
In Washington.
Washington.
It's warm.
I really wish I had my unicorns here.
Don't we all?
Instead, I got a beach. Hey, it's Africa! The man thing
That
always
guy
creeps
gets me every
out.
time.
I so seriously. It's creepy. I love it.
Murs on Mars. Murs on Mars. Is Murs here? Where's Murs?
Where's Murs?
He's like literally late this time. We didn't even get a chance to do sound check, so we'll see what happens.
Just roll it.
see.
We'll call it. We'll just call it.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. We might be Mursless today, y'all.
No!
Oh, there he is.
We'll roll with it.
There's America. I can see it.
Emerzica.
Oh no.
Murs, are you there?
Hello.
You have to say his name like 7 times in a row, like a.
No, in the
Voldemort having to
mirror.
Come up. Murs, 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 Murs. Nope.
Like the leprechaun?
He's
Right.
the leprechaun.
So, yeah, maybe it'll be a thing where, like, we can see Murs, but we can't hear him.
So like with you with the video game episode,
Oh, yeah.
where you were the
That was
magic
opposite.
fucking square.
You couldn't see me, but you could hear me.
Yeah.
We'll see
How
what
I-
happens with Murs. We don't know what we're going to get.
Well, that's just. What else is new when it comes to him? What else is new?
Life is like a box of Murs.
I don't.
Amazing.
You never know what you're going to get.
Amazing grace.
There he is.
No, that was the catchphrase.
Nobody said I had to wear pants.
Wait, what? Was that him?
What?
Do we have a ginger Ouija board we can use to summon him?
A nice little silver bell so I could ring for service.
Heavens.
Hey, it's Murs.
Oh boy. We're getting close. It's crunch time.
Hello?
T-minus 10.
It's a Merzel.
What's
You
up,
got that
guys?
devil and he shall appear.
3.
Are you guys talking about me again? I watched the last episode on repeat.
Lift off.
No.
Mers, you gotta turn your volume up.
It must be a figment of your impersonation.
Why impersonation? Sounds like you made that up during the break. Where is my mic at? Oh my
Hello.
Here's my mic. And my mic.
Hello, hello. Are you ready? You ready? All right.
Here, can I answer that with
How
this?
is it now? Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What do you call a dad who falls through the ice? A popsicle! This is Sexy Dad Joke.
Hey, this is Johnny Spaz. Welcome to Sexy Dad Jokes. Hey, Benjamin. My dad told me that I will never amount to anything by procrastinating. Do you know what I said back?
Hey there, Johnny Spaz. Wow, that sounds harsh. What did you say?
I said, oh yeah? Just you wait.
Oh, Johnny Spaz.
Oh,
That was quite the delayed response. Hey, so what does a star call his baby boy?
What?
His son.
And speaking of procrastination,
I know. Hey, guys, what do you call? I'm feeling great today. What do you call a dad is always taking photos?
What?
What?
A paparazzi.
A Maserati.
Yes.
golly gee, that joke really made you pop.
Hey!
Oh.
It's Square 50s guy.
Hey, what do you call the father of Coca-Cola?
I don't know.
What?
Soda pop.
Oh, Square 50s guy. That joke sorta worked.
Oh.
All together now. Welcome to Sexy Dad Jokes. Woo! We're flying by the seat of our pants. Murr's got his green screen going. Like quite literally green screen.
Yeah, it's not working today. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Yeah, mine wasn't working.
We got no dumpster fire. Viewers at home, feel free to take this video and put Murs in various situations and scenarios.
No. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? No.
Here it comes.
Meddling with powers you cannot possibly comprehend.
I did
All
it for
the places
memes.
that Murs' head has been.
I did it for the memes.
God damn it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Sexy Dad Jokes. Live and in living color. Yes, we are really live right now.
In living color.
Oh, boy. As always, I'm Ben Jammin, along with Johnny Spaz,
Yeah.
Mike Murs,
Hello.
Josh Richards,
What's happening?
and the ever incomparable Square 50s guy himself, Richards the Third Jr.
Bunch of numbskulls, if you ask me.
It's the everable.
The everable.
Everable.
Oh, man. And from all of us here at SDJ, we want to wish you all a happy, if belated, Father's Day. And since Father's Day just happened last weekend, we wouldn't be sexy dad jokes without taking some time to talk about our dads, father figures, and Father's Day in general. Father's Day here at SDJ is sort of like our Super Bowl, so it's a big deal. And even we're a little late, our schedule didn't fall on the actual Father's Day. I don't know if you noticed, but we've been releasing pretty regularly. We've been releasing episodes every 2 weeks, every Saturday morning. So
Every other Saturday morning.
That's right. Every other Saturday morning. So mark your calendars. Tune in. You all know what you have to do on a Saturday morning after you watch your Saturday morning cartoons. Is that still a thing? Saturday morning cartoons?
Yeah, it's
sure
us.
There it is.
We are the Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
We are the live action adaptations.
I think they still exist. Like you can binge watch cartoons on Saturday morning.
Okay. But I guess you can binge watch it at any time.
Well,
Yeah, you
that's
can.
kind of my point. Saturday morning cartoons still exist. It's summer though. Who cares about Saturday morning? It's
That's
every
true.
day.
Every day's Saturday.
That's true. Well, SDJ, we are appointment television for sure. Okay. But before you say anything, yes, we are once again doing an episode about a certain day after the fact. I think that's where those procrastination jokes came from. But we're bringing you all a great Dad's Day episode anyway.
I told you procrastination or procrastinating would lead to something. It just needed to take a moment.
Hey!
Oh dear.
Right indeed, Johnny Spaz. And we have some exciting conversations and surprises planned. Got a lot to talk about, so let's dive in, shall we?
But before we go further, extra, I have some news to share, just like the local paper boy.
Oh, really, Square 50s guy? Well, why don't you tell us all about it?
Well, you see, since all the kids were out of the house, I decided to get some guidance on being a father figure for others. And you won't believe the person who I bumped into to get some advice. You might say the encounter was magical.
Oh.
Spooky.
Musical.
Spooky.
What is this world coming to? I go hopping all over the world looking for sage wisdom, and not even Fantasyland has anyone who can help. What's a guy gotta do to get some advice around here? Perhaps starting by using your inside voice might help things along. Great Caesar's ghost! Who are you? Oh, you may know my name, though you may not think I belong to it. I'm Gandalf. And Gandalf means me. Gandalf, eh? Well, I'm Richards the Third Jr. And Richards the Third Jr. means maximum manliness to you, mister. Now, settle down. No need for hostilities here. I am simply here to offer you help. Offer me help? Do I look like a guy who needs help? More than you know. I heard you speaking about seeking advice. What advice would such a fellow like you be seeking? I don't know if I should be talking to you with that massive beard of yours, pal. The only people who have beards like that have a certain affection for the color red. If you get my meaning, comrade. You have no enemies here, Richards. I am a wizard, and I seek to help all who need it, regardless of personal beliefs. I believe it is important to provide aid to anyone whenever it is possible, no matter their relations to you. Say, that's not bad, Mr. Natakami. You know, maybe you can help me with what I'm after. All I want to do is to learn what I have to do to be a good father figure for people around me. Are you not a father yourself? Oh, I am. Yes, indeed, I am. But all those little ankle biters have grown up and left the roost. Finally, though, I have to say, though, they got off my lawn. Now, I want to be a proud father figure for my community.
A noble cause, Richard. Tell me, what lessons or advice do you provide as a father figure to others so far?
Well, one lesson I pass on is that if you fall down or get hurt, the best way to deal with it is to pick yourself up and move right along.
Ah, yes, very good, very good.
And after putting salt on the wound and chugging a highball for good measure, though,
Oh, I beg your pardon? What is a highball?
Also, if someone is having a bad day and treats you and your family poorly, the best way to deal with the situation is to give them a good old knuckle sandwich for their troubles and add some spit for flavor.
Now, wait just a minute. That seems highly unethical.
And one more thing. Everyone has their own opinions and beliefs, each one as unique as the other. But the best way to live is to ensure everyone has the same belief as you. And if you don't, you treat them like the walking garbage that they are.
Enough! Enough! That is enough. What is the matter with you, Richard? Your mind is tarnished with dark and wicked thoughts. I will not stand for it. Should you choose to live by this advice, you will have nothing left in the end. Nothing at all. And is this the same knowledge you passed to your own children?
Well, not really. I raised them the way my own father never did for me. I gave them a home of love and peace, and helped them grow to be better people than I could ever be. But everyone else is open season for a good kick in the teeth. We got a saying from my time, better dead than red. And if someone was different from you, they were as red as red chili peppers, Buster.
Richard, those times have passed. Long gone are the days of living in fear and anger. Those dark days only lasted for so long. In its place, the times of peace stepped forward. Life is not about trying to be the biggest or the loudest. It is simply about selfish glory and the downtrodden for others. It isn't that whatsoever. For today, a good life is made by simple things. When it comes to being that father figure for others, you'll need to treat them like they were your own kin. You no need to spoil them, I should say, with grand visions and methods. I find it is the small things, the simple acts of kindness and love, that makes life worthwhile. Treat people the way you wish to be treated. They may not be your biological family, but you can treat them like family just the same. Only then will you be able to achieve the happiness for everyone, even yourself.
Spoken like a true diplomat there, Mr. Graybeard. You certainly are a maestro with words. Say, you know what? This conversation inspired me. I think I will not only do my part to be a better father figure for those who need it, but I think I will start my own radio show that gives the best advice around. Thanks a million there, Mr. Gandalf.
May fortune favor you always, Richard Richards. Good luck.
All right.
Whew.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Score 50s, guys. Guy getting some magic words of wisdom. I hope that advice helps him get rid of some bad hobbits.
Oh my god.
Why?
I found a great Hobbit pinball machine. It doesn't accept any coins though. Only a Tolkien.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Why did the Hobbit put his phone on silent?
I don't know
He was
why.
tired of the ring.
Oh gosh.
Holy
I got
moly.
more. I got more.
You got the
Bring
whole
it.
internet right in front of you.
What are you, the OxyClean guy?
That's a lot of
Those
damage.
hobbits are really good people, you know. They don't look down on anyone.
True.
And, you know, I used to watch the Lord of the Rings
Yep,
movie
there it is. There it is.
habitually. Habitually.
You already did a Hobbit habit one. What does a nun wear that's short? A hobbit.
Oh
Shows him
wow.
manly drill. Manly drill.
Gandalf rolling through.
They see me rolling, they hating.
Gandalf with the classics.
Nice work there, Josh, as always.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a
Murs started the fire. It was always burning since he came to town.
Murs didn't start the fire.
Yeah, he did.
there's a good chance.
different opinion.
Well, that happens.
Run.
Okay.
I do like that one. That's a fun one.
Run.
That one reminds me of Mike Tyson.
Game over.
Whoa.
They play that one a lot on SigTech. It's funny.
Love Mike Tyson.
All right.
All right.
Tyson.
So, Father's Day. This is last weekend. Father's Day is kind of a big deal around here, as I mentioned earlier. And so today we want to really lift up that the perspective that there are many kinds of fathers out there. Of course, there's your heteronormal, traditional kind of father, your Ward Cleaver kind of guy, your, I don't know, Richards the Third Jr. kind of guy, the traditional, right? But this day and age, there are different kinds of families, LGBTQ plus families, where you might not even be a man who is taking on a father-like role. It could be a combination of people. It might be a community, like we talked about last episode, how we've sort of lost touch with this sense of building community around ourselves as a way to feel safe, as a way to build family, and that's another way. It might be through stepfathers. It might be through funkles. It all looks different, and that's okay. And in fact, it's more than okay. It's wonderful. So, I also wanted to raise up that our relationships to our father figure types can also be complicated. These relationships can look very different for different people. And so today we want to explore some of this. So I have put out an invitation to my fellow co-hosts here to be willing to do some sharing, some vulnerability, and sort of give you all the opportunity to write a letter to your dad and share any of that as you'd like. For me, I didn't like sit down and write a letter, but I was thinking I'd just talk about it. And I've talked about my dad on the show before, but for me, he's a guy who had a lot of demons. he was in the Navy, in the river boats in Vietnam. War is just a horrible, horrible thing, and I can't imagine some of the things that he saw and experienced and had to do. I can't imagine it. I've heard glimpses of it. He didn't really talk about it that much. There were just a few times he described bullets whizzing past his ear. I think he witnessed his friends dying in front of him. And my childhood was rough. I mean, it was, yeah, I won't get into it, but it was rough. And he had a lot of demons. And so my relationship to him now, and he passed in 96. And my relationship to him now comes through really like understanding and empathy. I've forgiven him. I forgave him relatively early on. And it was really an understanding the role that war played in his life. And it might seem like this theoretical thing or this like intangible or like how, yeah, he went through that, but how does that really impact how he's behaving today? Yeah, absolutely. It impacts how he is behaving. He experienced major trauma in his life. And yeah, that's going to change you. And so, but when I knew him, that's never something we talked about openly. I mean, he had major PTSD that was untreated. He didn't have any support. He just had to deal. And I know it haunted him in his last days, in the hospital bed. He was talking about, he was having visions, and you could see like he was working through this stuff. Like, yeah, that it profoundly impacted him. And so my ability to just understand, like, holy moly, it isn't theoretical. There is a direct connection between war and this troubled childhood that I had to live through. And understanding that connection brought me peace. It brought me peace and gave me the ability to empathize and to understand him and ultimately forgive him. And and so now how I remember him, yeah, I remember him as someone who lived through some hard stuff, and that brings me sadness, but I'm grateful for the gift of being able to see that, make that connection and understand it. I also see him as he was kind of a goofball when he wasn't, under the influence of the demons. He was a goofball. I don't know I don't know how I could possibly come from a goofball like that. I'm very normal, but
it was sarcasm. I missed it. Everything was so serious.
But I remember him as very talented. Like he wrote a book, never got published, but just for fun, he wrote a book about these like nano technology devices, and it was like for something from the 90s. It was very ahead of his time. He was a cab driver, but he also, before that, like he was an entrepreneur. My favorite memories would be of him coming home from a long day driving a taxi. And that was back when there were taxis and not Ubers and Lyfts. And he'd bring home ice cream for us. And one memory I have, he told me, I think it was when he got cancer, but he was still like seemed normal. It didn't take hold of him yet. and he told me if he ever wants if I ever want to be near him, to go to a soccer field. And sports was something that he really helped me with. Sports and education. Like, he really supported me to grow in those areas. And I played soccer my whole life. He was my soccer coach for youth soccer, AYSO. And yeah, it was interesting. He said, go to a soccer field if I want to ever be close to him. And I've played rec league soccer my whole adult life. In fact, I played a game last night. And I don't ever go thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to go play this game and to be close to my dad. I never overtly think that, but I like to think that me continuing this on is a way that I can stay connected to him. Anyways, so that's my spiel. That's my story. I think I shared a little more than I've shared before on it, but he was a complicated guy, and I'm just grateful for everything he was able to bring to my life, to my sisters' lives, and I understand. I mean, I can't fully understand what he went through, but I understand it was hard, and yeah, I look forward to seeing him again in the next realm.
Thanks for sharing, Ben.
Yeah, man.
I've known you for a long time, and that's not a topic that we've often embraced, if ever. And it's good. It's good to hear you open up about that.
Yeah,
it's
I appreciate
inspiring
it.
to me. It's I understand that difficulty of sharing, close kept, heartfelt things. Like, I understand that all too well, and we talk about true strength, man. That's what that is to me.
Yeah, thanks for letting me be vulnerable and holding this space for me, fellas.
That's what we do, right?
Of course, man. Yeah, of course. I know. I didn't have anything. I'm sure everybody. Is it all right if I?
Go ahead, man. Fire away.
I don't want to interrupt anybody, but I had I thought about this episode and what we do for Father's Day. It's kind of a weird day for me, as we've talked about before. But I did do a letter to my dad. So.
Oh, wow.
I'd like to read that now.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
So, yeah, I have my whole look. I have a whole thing.
Whoa.
I'll read it quick. Wow. So, here we go. Hold on. I got to understand my hieroglyphs. Okay, here we go. I apologize in advance if this sounds if you're expecting a love letter, this is not that.
Well, we mentioned our relationships can be complicated, right?
Yes, this is one way to describe it.
And you yourself have shared your relations to your father already, I think in episode 2. So
yeah.
You already ripped that Band-Aid off way in advance. So.
Exactly. So this is more for me than for him. So I'll just go. Here you go. Dear Dad, I pity your foolishness and loathe your mindset. I reject everything you've shown us and your actions that I know and have known. You have always demonstrated to me what not to do, so a modicum of gratitude is perhaps owed, recognizing that this was not your intended lesson. However, there was at least some value to all the pain and suffering left in your wake. I am no longer afraid, so happy Father's Day to an absent, self-loathing, autocratic masochist. Thank you. I'm not afraid. I am strong. I'm free from you. No longer do you have any control or influence over me or my life. The sooner your legacy is extinguished from the family, the better. Happy Father's Day.
Oh, Johnny Spaz.
I pity the fool.
And to end that on a good note.
Way to make the most of a stinky situation.
Hey man, I had to do it. I had to
Yeah.
lighten it up.
Well,
But
that's
thanks for
definitely
listening.
keeping it real.
Somebody had to say it. So there, I had to say it.
Yeah, Johnny. I mean, my reflections from listening to that, yeah, it sounds like there's been some troubles in the relationship. I applaud you for keeping it real and sharing what's in your heart. I think when it comes to our relationships with our dads, it goes both ways. Like the dads, they got to show up. They got to be there, and they got to be there to mentor us and help us grow. And sometimes there are folks out there who they're so caught up in their own worlds that they have a hard time being able to see beyond themselves and see like, oh, here's someone who I can help. And we need to challenge ourselves instead of getting defensive about something or being insecure about something. Challenge ourselves to transcend that, because life is bigger than that. And that's really how you truly show up for someone, is by not centering yourself and your troubles and your insecurities, but you center this young person who needs guidance, who needs someone looking out for them. And I know, Johnny Spaz, I know that you've cared a lot about your family. You are a protector of your family. You are someone who cares a lot. And I actually remember this was back when we were in a band together, the Crud. And we did a small East Coast tour in Philly and Jersey. And this was back, yeah, I wish I had a picture. My hair was like all poofed out. And
There's a picture behind you, isn't there?
I have a picture.
I swear there's a picture of the crud up there up above you.
where?
The crap.
It was.
No, I don't think I should get one. Do you have one, Johnny?
Yeah, I have to search for it. I'm looking. Continue on.
But so we set up a few gigs out there. We went out there, and there was one gig in Philadelphia at some bar, and we were on stage doing our thing, rocking out. Oh, I just had a random memory. We played at the VFW in Jersey.
Yeah, we did.
And we were like on this like theater stage, and I remember there's this one song where we just kind of go off, and it's like real mosh pit vibes. And I remember like doing a stage dive. Like I jumped out from the stage mid song, but there wasn't anyone there to catch me.
Oops.
So I just landed on the floor, like full on belly flopped. And I was like, oh shit, like I couldn't breathe. And I was like, did I just like crack a rib? And the song kept going. And so like I just hobbled back up on stage and tried to finish the song and catch my breath.
I found a picture of you with long hair on the interwebs.
Whoa.
I'm not very good at interneting, but I did it.
There's one.
There's one in the Honolulu. I put it in the chat in our.
Oh my sweet lord!
Did you open it? Did you open it, Josh?
Oh my god!
Oh shit.
Wow!
Share your screen.
Okay. Hold on.
Or just
I'll
cut
share
it and do it.
Good heavens!
Yeah.
Oh my lord!
Look at that hair. Put your mouse around that hair.
That wasn't even when it was super rude.
2003.
You look like somebody from Shrek. Like that style of hair. Like you're supposed to go get on a horse and have a tunic.
Like a
Who's
Hawaiian
who's
Lord
the guy
Farquaad.
without the hat on down on the bottom? Who's that guy?
Who's that?
Your name was Root Evil?
Hell yeah.
And Justin's the guy, right? The guy that was on the show a few episodes ago.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
then
right.
Johnny
There's Justin.
Stitch.
Johnny
Well,
Stitch.
At least he's been upgraded.
It was a whole thing.
I think it's more accurate to say Spaz.
I like Spaz. Well, that was
I bet you do.
We had a whole
Capano's
article
gig.
about us.
Didn't you used to work for the Honolulu whatever?
Yep.
Is that how you got your article in there? Free marketing?
My lord.
High intensity, lost in the semifinals.
Okay, so
When was that? What year was that? Oh my god.
It says 03.
Oh, 3. Jeez, 19
that's like
years
20
ago.
years ago. Holy crap!
Oh man. You look like it too. What are you, 15 in that?
Oh wow!
Before you got that gray chin beard?
Blast from the past.
I love that
Oh,
second paragraph there where you want reggae, rock, Jamaican? No problem. Just give them enough time to go rehearse. My lord. That's
Holy
how you
crap.
get over.
It's been a
The
minute.
lion.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Digging it up. All right. Well, so we were on that tour, and we had a gig at Philly.
that was
And,
Washington D.C.
Of course it is. What are you guys busking on the corner or something?
No, that was in.
Well, it looks like Johnny was trying to bust someone's nut, is what they were looking
he's
at.
trying to
That's
fart
a
or
Johnny
something.
for you. Yeah, that's what he does.
I was riding something.
Before he had a
Look at
fart machine in
This
his
is my
hand.
favorite picture of myself.
I bet it is.
Is that your visual memoir?
Are you look up bum in the dictionary? It's right underneath spaz.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, heavens.
Good times. Good times.
So great.
We're building community and family through ridiculous pictures.
Well, that's what you call it.
Anyways, back to the story. So we were in Philly playing a gig, and
Really? I thought you were in Jersey.
Yeah, we were.
it was
No,
a tour.
the jersey was the belly flop.
How many drugs
Yeah.
did you guys do?
Lots
How
of
many
stuff.
drugs am I on? Maybe that's what the problem is. I did have some Dayquil. Oh.
Oh. Oh wow.
Murs had to throw up on that one.
No, I'm not doing so hot.
Shit.
Oh
Trying to hold it
man.
together
He
here.
got the crud.
I got the crud. I got the crud. And I'm not talking about that crappy band. I mean,
We
Don't
met
talk
last
crud
week.
on the crud.
We met last week online, and I was like sick as a dog, and somehow I gave you that sickness
Yeah, you did. Digital. You were fired.
digitally.
You give.
In fact, y'all listening, you need to put on masks right now. You don't want it. You don't want to get this. It's nasty.
You think
It's
Ben
not
is
fun.
your ally? He'll give you the sickness. He was born with it.
It's a bane.
It's a bang.
It's a pain.
Oh, my lord.
Okay, so
The story.
Philly.
Bring it around. Bring it
Wow,
around.
that was quite a tangent there. So
That's
we're
okay.
out in Philly playing the show, and it's like we're in the, I don't know, it's this area of Philly where all these
South Street.
South Street, yeah, where there's all these like real well-known bars and stuff, and it was like a pretty cool gig for us, and there was like a decent crowd, and we're up there.
Aberdeen.
We're up there, Aberdeen. Name of
Abilene.
the Abilene.
I believe.
Aberdeen's where Kurt Cobain was born.
Yeah, it's a different one.
Different one.
It's a different rock band.
Yeah, different band. So we're up there rocking, doing our thing, and once again, mid-song, something happens. And so Johnny Spaz is doing his thing, playing. He's like Flea's up there rocking out, and all of a sudden, he like throws down his guitar and jumps off the stage and starts like just punching this dude at the bar. And I'm like, what the frick? So we all go
I'm sure that's exactly what you said.
we all break it up, and the show stops, and they're like, what is going on? Apparently you were out there defending the honor of your dad, who was there in attendance, and I think you were saying that like some dude was like hassling him or giving him a hard time, and you saw that, and you're like, fuck, F this, and you just like went into full like Hulk protection mode. And I don't know, it's like to go from that, someone who cares so much about his dad, he's going to go in an instant to defend him, to where you're at now. And it makes me sad, but I understand it's complicated. Do you remember that?
I remember it well.
Did I explain it right?
It was pretty spot on.
Yep.
I did get back up on the stage and like
Finish the
stop
song.
playing. No, well, I thought some guy was trying to fight him, my dad, and so I just kind of reacted impulsively. But he earned the treatment I give him now, so it's not like I changed my mind about him in the sense of like I just didn't like him anymore because he did something to me. It's just who he is, It's kind of good to have a role model to show you everything of what not to be. So in that sense, I appreciate him.
It's your silver lining. Well, I have a small update that's about that, I guess, defending. So back on Halloween, I got socked in the face when that guy came flying around the corner and almost hit us all. Well, apparently that individual has moved out of state, a few states away, and is getting a hold of one of the neighbors and telling them how tough and hard they are. And, now that he's out of state, I guess he can talk trash or something. And I'm really, and he's so hard and so tough that he's complaining about the scar my face gave his finger, which is pretty funny to me that he's upset about a scar on his finger from my face. Yet he's
I'm ugly.
I don't know. I got a text a couple of days ago or yesterday, and I was just like, that's too funny. I'm going to tell the guys, because it's just like, what?
It's
Why
almost like that. Who's that one black comedian where it's the meme where he shoots the guy and he says, "Why would so and so do this?" He's like, he's the guy, punching, and the shooting is punching Mers, and he goes, "Why would he make me do that?"
Oh yeah. Why would you make me do this? Why would you make me do this? I'm getting a scar on my finger from punching you. Stop making me punch you.
Boo hoo! You ain't got it.
I want to know what your face is made of.
That's what I was just thinking.
Oh, so you want a funny story? I actually do have metal in my face from when I hit a steering wheel with my face.
So you're a true metalhead.
Yeah. So I've got some
Are
titanium.
you from the future?
No, it's not liquid metal.
I'm from the future.
I'm becoming Darth Vader slowly. I've decided that that's my goal in life.
I watched the whole Obi-Wan series, so we can talk about it.
Don't. I haven't watched it yet. I don't want to hear about it. I've been sick, and I said I'm not watching it till it all comes out, and it's all out now, and I haven't felt like it yet. So don't ruin it for me.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not the spoiler.
Yeah, Batman shows up.
At the end, they roll the credits.
Batman shows up and is like, "There's only room for one cape wearer in this galaxy."
I want Batman to fight.
60s
There we go.
Batman to fight Darth Vader.
demonetized.
Oh, we were already demonetized. We played Lord of the Rings the whole time.
Yeah, we did.
Shit.
I mean, we're making a fortune doing this. What, are we just going to listen to the fight? How boring is that? It was a great fight, though. Great fight. Love that fight.
Yeah.
Fair use.
Oh wait, you didn't
Not as
see
much
the...
as Spaz doing a WWE stage dive. Good God Almighty, Spaz just jumped the stage! Oh, God Almighty!
Whoa.
Wait, what?
What?
Okay, so
Feels like this was the right sound effect though to have.
what? No, it doesn't mean play it again. Come on.
Spaz took his guitar. What? He threw it off the stage. What? He drove off the stage, gave a piss press to some jackass, went on stage, and
I'm done.
You can't do it.
winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Do what?
Ah! I didn't go to prom. I was like, this is boring. Let's go out in the woods and make fires and stuff.
And stuff,
And
yeah.
stuff. Hey, you
Well-
want to do what they do on the Discovery Channel?
Doing what they do on the Discovery Channel.
You caught small rodents and ate them?
Hey, man. It's called the keto diet.
Oh, is it? It's called the keto diet.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Yeah.
One bizarre Spaz joke later.
Yes. So, well, I didn't light a letter to my father. Light a letter to my father.
Mhm.
Light a letter. I
You didn't send him
write
a
letter.
smoke signal. Yeah.
No, yeah, I didn't do any of that. I did go to Father's Day. My parents' fridge broke, so they had no food. So my mom decided that we were going to go out to Red Robin, which was cool. Sponsor, not sponsor. And it was good. We had fun. And yeah, I think Ben, so my dad served in Vietnam as well on a ship in the river. So I don't know if your dad was a river rat,
Oh,
like
wow.
on the small boats, or was he on a bigger ship? Do you know?
Riverboat, yeah.
Yeah, so he was on the
small
small ones that went on the crazy missions.
one. Yeah.
My dad was on a ship. It got shot at. They had general quarters go off. He did what he did. We've talked about it a few times, probably more than you and your dad. But yeah. So I know some of what he went through there and how that shaped him and changed him. He was actually sent home because he was the only son left because his brother died.
Oh wow.
So he got sent home early, right before his tour was up. But that's the way the rules work, and I think that comes from World War II, and that's what Saving Private Ryan is all about. Oddly enough, so they won't put all the brothers in the same company on the same ship. They won't do that anymore, so that there's a son left over.
Wow.
So that was what happened with him. Still dealing with that time that in the service. So his ship was up and down the rivers. It was this big support ship, an old hospital ship. And we got him a hat last Father's Day that had the ship on it, and it said served in the Mekong Delta.
Oh, wow.
And he gets compliments a lot. And he never really shared his time in Vietnam before recently with the public, if you will. I remember when I was in school, he'd go to Veterans Day, and my dad was up there for Veterans Day, and we'd have the big assembly, and there's my dad down there, and that's about all he shared with people. It was rare that he talked about it. So he got hit with Agent Orange while he was on the rivers, and has Parkinson's as a result.
Oh wow.
And he's getting some help through the VA, so that's good. But it's a deteriorating disease, as we know from Michael J. Fox and what's happened with him. And he's not young anymore; he's in his 70s. So everything else that goes on at that point in time in life too. And there are some other complications that come along with that. So like every day is precious. And I think it's funny. I don't think it's funny. I I I find this interesting. I guess. Uh, like I visit my dad. I'd say at least twice a month. Right? We have family dinner on Sunday. We have a birthday. We have two birthdays. We have 4th of July. We have Christmas. We have Thanksgiving. Right? I mean, it's constant, which is great. But if he's going to live another 2 years, let's say, or 6 months, or whatever number you want to put on him, let's do 2 years. And I visit twice a month. That's 24 times. Times two is I'm only going to see my dad 48 more times. So, and that's if it's obviously um, 2 years from now. If it's 2 months from now, I'm only going to see him 4 more times. And that isn't to be sad or anything. That's just a reality that I keep reminding myself of. Is I have, let's say, 6 months. Well, I have 12 times to go ask my dad all those questions, which he's not as good at answering now because that's part of the Parkinson's. So any of those questions that I want to ask, maybe about Vietnam or other parts of his life, my life, what he thinks of the world, you know, he's just a great man and it's been a great influence in my life. So I look at it kind of like if I got 2 months, that's only 4 times I get to see my dad. So I better start asking those questions and really enjoying that time, which I understand is different for everybody on the panel. But yeah, go ahead, Johnny.
I want to make a suggestion. They have. I did this with my grandfather because I was in a similar situation when he had with him, and they have these books that they make, but you can make your own of questions that you would like. It's for the person. You give it to them as a gift. They fill it out, and when the time comes, you get that, and it has all of those questions, so they can do it on their own time in private, where they can be a little more open, perhaps. It's supposed to be like a keepsake thing.
Oh yeah, I get that.
They have these books online for this specific purpose. I can't remember what they're called, but that sounds like it would be something. To me, it was the most valuable thing. I ended up not getting it, which was upsetting. But that sounds like if your dad would be willing, that would be really great to have.
I kind of learned this lesson from the time with my grandfather. I would go over there once a week at least, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. He had dialysis. I'd go sit with him in dialysis for an hour. If I had time, right, if it was my day off or whatever, I'd just go chill. It was kind of funny because all the nurses and all the other people in the beds and everything were like, "Oh, hey, Mike, what's going on?" And I'd just sit there and cut up and tell jokes, and they'd all laugh. And because I mean, hey, there's somebody there, right? And that's all you need sometimes. So to make the long story short, I'd go visit him once or twice a week, sometimes more. I'd take him cigarettes. I wasn't supposed to do that, but I figured, hey man, when I'm his age, I hope I got somebody bringing me smokes.
Just give them what they want.
So I bought a tape recorder, and I have the tapes of what I would sit there and talk to him about, and it was just it was just kind of silly stuff. He was actually the first person that said to me. So my dad gave me a Constitution, and my grandpa on my mom's side, he said, because I was all gung-ho like, oh, communism bad. I sounded like Richard Richards when I was like 10, 11, 12,
the
right?
Red Menace.
That was what I heard. And I saw, Red Dawn, and I was, oh, communism bad. They're the enemy. We should be fighting them. Why aren't we getting rid of this threat?
Wolverines!
So he said, and I remember this, I was young when he said it. This is way before I ever had the recording stuff or anything. He said, well, how do you know that communism is so bad? It works for places like Norway and Sweden and Iceland. They're all doing just fine with it. And that's more socialism, but same, comes from the same tree, if you will. And it was really interesting because he was a small business owner, entrepreneur, hated government being involved with permits and everything. There's too many restrictions, too many regulations, but he played by the rules and he had a very successful company. But he was very quick to point out the places where socialism was working and how that might be counter to what I was using rhetorically as a very young man, right? I was 10, 11, 12. I wasn't very old. 5th grade, 6th grade, maybe 7th. So that was very impactful to have from my grandfather, which I know it's not Grandfather's Day, but it was an interesting thing. So
it is good.
These were the conversations I had when I grew up. My dad gave me a Constitution, and my grandpa talked about socialism and communism maybe being an okay thing.
He was acting as a father figure in that moment, and he helped expand your thinking.
Certainly.
I heard this socialism described to me once as freeing us from the awful burden of having to care for others.
Yeah, I don't know.
What I mean is what that meant was it's like we have these things in place, like for example, universal health care. It's like, wouldn't it be nice if you could just go to the doctor when you're sick? Novel concept, I guess.
I get it. I'm just saying it was an interesting thing.
Yeah,
do you have a Father's Day thing, Josh? I don't know if you did or not.
Yeah. I mean, due to my ever wonderful job, I wasn't able to have Father's Day off. It just wasn't going to work. So we actually had the Friday prior to Father's Day. I was able to spend some time with them. We all had dinner and played games, and I wrote him a card already that was, the cards I make, they were kind of almost little personal letters, right? They're not just, your generic Hallmark question up on the cover, joke in the back with a little writing room. I like to have more personal, reflection. And
Sure.
so I gave him a card. He got a bit choked up, and then on Father's Day, he actually got the cruds as well. My whole family did.
Oh.
And so they were all just relaxing. I got to talk to him in the morning before I went to work and chatted with him for a quick moment, and that helped, brighten the mood. He still had a good time. And I won't share too much about like what I said in the card or anything like that, just mainly for the sake of time. And he's kind of a private guy, doesn't really like to be prior to with, it was different. He was a lot different when he was my age. I mean, he would tell me some stories. I'm like, how the hell did you get away with that?
Yeah.
But and there were still great stories all the same. But as he's gotten older, he likes to be more, private, and not necessarily for security, but he just doesn't want to. He likes to just come home and relax and be left alone, as far as just outside being with his family, right? And the thing I said, there was a constant, the word constant was flung around a bit during this discussion, and I said in the card that throughout all the times, both good and bad, you have stayed a strong constant in my life. And both he and I actually within the last few years have gone through some dynamic changes, all for the better. He was still a good man. He had his problems, and I did too. And really, he was trying to make sure that I never did the same mistakes that he did when he was young. And, granted, again, some of the stuff he would tell me, some of the stories that are not to be shared on the air, they're definitely ones where I go, yeah, but I don't want to do that in general to begin with. So you don't have to worry about that. They put National Lampoon to shame, some of them stories, but he just wanted me to be everywhere. Yeah. And then some. But he wanted me just to be better than what he was. That was always his goal, and that's what every parent wants. It's what even Richard said, how he raised his kids was he wanted them to be better than how he was raised. And he wanted the same thing for me and for my little sister. He didn't have always the happiest of upbringings with his grandmother, which after spending about a few years with her, I can understand why. And I'm going to leave it at that. But we've definitely grown a lot closer over the years. And while it is ironic that our relationship has gotten so well, the whole family's relationship has gotten so close and strong in the past few years that unfortunately now, not unfortunately, but I moved out of the family home last year. But I said in the card, and I say this every time when I write a card to my family, that even though we are physically separated, we can't be any more closer together than we are now. And him being a man who can make some unique expenditures once in a while. He's still a child at heart. He won't admit to a midlife crisis, but yeah, it's a midlife crisis. Man literally showed up.
Is it a Miata?
Nope.
Okay.
What happened was that he. What happened was the one story I'll share that's kind of funny was in this past few months in April. My girlfriend and I we transferred to different apartment because it was all being renovated, and so obviously we could use the extra hands and moving stuff. So it's moving day. We're getting ready to go, and my mom is there with us, and she gets a text saying that from my dad that, hey, you need to come over to the car dealership, and she tells me that, and I go, what did he do?
Oh no.
What did he do? And I thought because the new Bronco had come out, he finally got a new Ford Bronco. I'm like, that mother, really? Today, moving day, you decided to go to the dealership. And so she went, and I'm sitting there just like, man, that man. I wasn't mad, but I'm like, really, dude? Turns out he didn't get a Bronco. He just traded in his old 2019 Mustang convertible for a new
His old
Mustang convertible.
his old 2019 Mustang convertible.
For a 2021, 2022 gray Mustang, all electric. And I'm like, why? I'm like, dude, why? He's like, no, trust me. Have a seat in the car and just listen. Turns on the ignition, I hear that engine roar, and I go, I have never been more happy to eat crow in my entire life. So we have a great relationship, bottom line, and we're actually going to spend time actually after this recording with my whole family, and have a nice time in the summer. So Father's Day, it's always good for me to again give not just credit where credit is due to how he raised me and how he's doing an amazing job with my sister, but just also in general, I take every opportunity to be thankful for the time we have now. Much like how Merce is with his father. I mean, I try to cherish every single moment that I can with him and the whole family, because those are what really matters the most in the end over any sort of material thing. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, fellas, so much for sharing. We're definitely getting into some personal stories here, so I'm really grateful to you all for all of this. I think one thing that strikes me is just particularly from what Mers and Josh was saying, was just how I really like how you are thinking about maximizing the time that you have with your dads, because life is freaking short, y'all. It happens so fast. And Mers, the way you frame it, when you think about it, all of us, the number of times we have left to see our parents is numbered.
Well,
very much so.
That's if I see him twice a month.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good average, but I know there's months where I only see him once. There's months where I see him 2 or 3 times, but the point is, if I kind of average it out, that twice a month, which is pretty often compared to my friends, right?
Yeah.
My other friends do not see their parents that often. And that's just shocking to me. I just don't understand it. With all due respect to everybody else, but that's just me. It's like, why not? Why don't you want to go see your family?
Yeah. And for someone from my perspective who I haven't had my dad around in over 20 years, 25 years, every time I see someone who's struggling with their dad, it makes me sad, because I mean, my life would be a lot different if he was still around.
Yep.
And I don't know how we would have ever addressed what happened before, and I don't know what our relationship would be like. But I miss him nonetheless.
I get that.
And I miss his presence in my life. I don't really have anyone I feel like who can be out there. I mean, you find people along the way, who can help fill the role in different ways. But I don't have that go-to person. and I mean it's forced me to grow, and
Yeah.
and also like what I want to sort of pivot this towards is life is a cycle, right? It's the cycle of life, and we come up as sons, and our fathers are like, when we're young, our fathers are like the world to us, right? They're just like, we're just in awe of them. And then, you know, some complicated realities set in.
About 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
You start to go, no, you don't know everything. You used to know everything, but you don't know everything.
Right.
How come you never talked to me about this exactly? How come, Dad? You should have talked to me about this. You don't know everything.
I fantasize that Mike Tyson is my biological father.
Mike Tyson.
You fantasize about that.
Yeah, I love Mike Tyson. I have like a weird, unhealthy infatuation with Mike Tyson.
Hey, this is a safe
Did not
space.
know
Let
that.
it out. Let it out.
When he punched that dude on the plane recently, I felt like there's my dad.
Well, I mean, you can only take so much, right? That guy was just egging him on. I'm a world-class boxer. Keep egging me on.
It's just like, why?
I'm not saying he did the right thing. I'm saying, like,
Iron
sometimes
Mike.
you get socked.
Well,
I wonder if he has a scar on his finger.
Well, if you don't know who Mike Tyson is and you're going to do that to a world champion, then it's your fucking fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't mess with Johnny's daddy, okay?
Yeah.
Don't mess with my dad. He'll beat your ass.
Mm-hmm.
But the cycles of life here, and we come up in all of our dads, and then we get to know some of the more realities of our dads, and we see their flaws, and we love them anyways. We try. And then we come up and we become father-like figures, and it's our job to look out for the next generation. And we're all dad figures now. And so it's like, here we are talking about our dads, but one thing that's fun to think about is also talking about us as dad-like figures. So I gotta share my cards here, my Father's Day cards.
Hey.
This one's got a dad joke on it and everything.
You got to read it. It's tough to.
When it comes to being a great dad,
Happy Father's Day.
You nailed
you
it.
nailed it. This is a footsie hammer.
And
you
a
can't
hammer
make
with the footprint.
That's awesome.
Just like when you get the birth certificate and they print your foot. That's cool.
Yes.
That's
This is
awesome.
little
cool.
Beanbug's little footsie over there.
That's a big foot. Was that enlarged? That's a huge foot. It almost takes up the whole piece of paper.
And
Side
I
to
love
side.
how they used the font from the Foo Fighters' second album. Called
Ah,
Ricochet.
yes. It's the little details.
Yes. This was Glow, and then this was from Jack.
Aww.
So we just got a kitty named Lion L. Messi.
I like that
Lionel
he called
Messi.
that thing out and wrote in that.
Yeah, Jack wrote that in. Mr.
Jack's
Lion
right.
L. Messi wants to play a Father's Day song for you.
Aww. And it shakes too. It does
Oh
shake.
my
Oh my god.
goodness.
So it plays a song and it shakes a guitar. That's
Dude, I
hilarious.
totally-
Is that the cat holding the guitar?
That's the cat, and then
Oh my
Jack
gosh.
put in
I totally thought it was
Love.
going to be the Yeah 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 song.
Jack put in Love Lion.
Aww.
Lionel Messi.
Happy Father's Day.
But he
That's
gets me.
cute. He gets
He's so
you.
awesome.
He gets me.
I totally
that's
thought
great.
you were gonna open it up and it was gonna go yeah 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 yeah.
Oh, like what? Because you can record.
But so Johnny, what I want to come back to you for a sec here.
Ruh-roh.
Now, What I wish
You are the father.
Maury's off the air though. Maury Povich is leaving. We don't get to watch those anymore. We just have to watch them on YouTube.
Oh, by the way, I saw this interesting article about how Darth Vader, like his name, was a clue that he would be the dad, because like Darth is like da, and then Vader is like fodder.
Yeah.
So that we should have been tipped off on that.
Dark Father. Yeah, why didn't you get that?
We should have saw it coming.
But when you were like 3 years old, why didn't you understand that, Ben? The hell's wrong with you?
Is that an anagram? Or anagram?
You're an anagram.
No, it's
What is-
Anakin.
Anakin, not
Anagram
anagram.
Skywalker.
Onomatopoeia.
Do I want to see ya? Star Trek Wars.
But
I find
okay,
it
so
like a geekdom disturbing.
one thing I wanted to raise up about Johnny is, even though you're having whatever challenges you're having with your father figure, what I wish for you, my wish for you, is that you find peace in the situation. You can't control what he does. You can't make him be what it is you need him to be. He is his own person. My hope for him is that he finds his way. But my wish for you is that you just find peace in the situation, and that you keep doing what you're doing, and be the person that you wish that he could have been, you know? Like, that's all you can do.
That's it. What else is there?
Yeah, and so just the way you have pivoted in your life to be the father, a father figure to Lily, I think that is amazing. And the way that you're there for your family, the way you've helped your family stay together has been really impressive. And so I wanted to share, we did get one viewer who submitted a piece of a recording sharing how much she misses her dad, who recently passed away. And I believe, Johnny Spaz, you might know this viewer, so let's give this a listen.
Hey, Ben. I wanted to go ahead and respond to our conversation about the importance of honoring wonderful fathers and wonderful men, and the great legacies that they leave. And I thank you for giving me a chance to be able to share this about my dad, along with some other wonderful men. One of them that you know, I do believe you call him Johnny Spaz. And whenever he is not spazzing, he is actually very, very sweet and sincere, as you know, from your long history with him. But as you know, my dad recently passed away unexpectedly 3 months ago, which is absolutely horrifying. So everybody out there who has their father or anybody that means something to them, don't miss a moment. Sometimes it goes by quicker than you think it's going to. But I wanted to just take a minute to say how important and how loved and how adored my dad was. I was very fortunate to have a father who, even as a kid growing up, all of my friends wanted to be at our house. They always said, "You have won the parent lotto," and I am well aware of this. And recently for Father's Day, my mom had given us each a little note that we had written to my dad about 10 years ago, and she framed them all for us for Father's Day. So I think this is important to share of what a legacy of a really, really good father can leave with someone. And I wrote, "What I love about you. You're generous, fun, young at heart, non-judgmental, kind, resourceful, forgiving, protective, playful, determined, realistic, and an encouraging spirit. The most prized lesson you have taught me is, number one, never, ever, ever, ever quit. Number two, independence. Oh, yes, I can do it. Number 3, and this one I say all the time, people do what they want to do. Number 4, think for myself. And number 5, you do love me more. That was something he always said. No matter how often we told him that we loved him, he would say, I love you more. And honestly, being a parent now myself, I really believe that he was telling the truth in that. So my strengths in my life, so many of them came from having such a wonderful father who, as a woman, made me feel safe and protected, and that I could be everything that I wanted to be, and that I always had a safe defender that would come as needed to defend me, take care of me, support me, and to educate me. I think it's also important to say that whenever my dad passed away, how wonderful Johnny was and how he stepped in to very quickly become the man that I lean on and the only man that I lean on now in that regard and that much. And it doesn't have to be a father, that can be a wonderful, supportive, loving, strong being in a child's life, but any influence that a good man has on anyone has that great ripple effect that just the world needs. I think it's super important to share that Johnny stepped up not only for me, but also for my mom and for my daughter and for my whole family. You know, again, just showing that somebody can take wonderful care of you and be a fantastic man in your life, and it doesn't necessarily have to be from a father. Johnny also has a niece who is now 10 years old, Lily, who, whenever she was born, Johnny was the male influence in her life because his sister was a single mom. So the first 5 years, it was Johnny who basically played the part of the father in raising her, taking care of her, educating her, being there for her, and his sister who was a single mom. So for all of the men who step up to the plate and are fantastic mentors and protectors of anyone, whether it is your birth child or not, is the legacy of a fantastic, wonderful man. So I hope this information is helpful to you. Take care, Ben. And actually, I know what a wonderful father you are to your kids. I hear about it from Johnny all the time, and they are so fortunate. And I can't wait to see in 20 years what magnificent people they are and what they are going to be doing in their life. Take care. Bye.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Tracy, for sharing your story and showing us a little bit more about our fine young co-host here, Johnny Spaz.
Wow. She's making me look like a serious adult.
Who knew?
Yeah, first time for everything, right?
She put a lot of disclaimers in there. A lot of disclaimers. You can replay it if you want. Just play it at 2 times speed. I'll be like, stop. That's a disclaimer. You know, play a little bit more. Stop. That's a disclaimer.
Oh, that was just really beautiful and gave us a glimpse. So to the viewers here, Tracy is Johnny's partner, and she recently lost her father, and that was just a very beautiful tribute. Just the way she described the role he played in her life, and one thing stuck out to me. She said, "People do what they want to do," and that kind of makes me think about Johnny, your dad. He's going to do what he wants to do, right? Yeah. You can't control that. What you control, what you can control, and that's how you show up, and that's what it's all about. And then just to hear some of the background of like Johnny and how you are with her, how you are with Lily, it's just a wonderful thing. So you're doing great. I know it's been hard, but you're living the ideals that you want to see in the world. You are, be the change, right? And you're doing it, and you've pivoted, and you are a strong piece of the puzzle in your family.
Well, thank you, man. I had a good teacher. All I had to do was the opposite of what my dad did. Okay.
I hope you find peace there.
I appreciate all that, my friend, and I'm still my coping tool is humor. So when I seem like I go into that phase, I guess that's me. That's my automatic response. I want to point out that I didn't play any fart sounds to break the mood.
That's very big of you there, Johnny Spaz.
Might not seem like a big deal to many of you, but for me, that's big.
That's what she said.
Hey-o!
Oh my god. Well, thank you, Tracy, and thank you all, fellas and Ben, and yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay, so we're
Yeah,
gonna.
we talked a lot about Father's Day and father figures today. And I actually had a thought I meant to share earlier, but if it's all right, I'd like to share it now.
Oh wow, Maris. I just want to tell you, I really am grateful for you, and I'm grateful that you're willing to open up and share these thoughts. I know this is a journey for us all, right? And it's not always an easy journey.
Yep.
And we've seen it on this very episode. It feels like we've been on this journey. We've seen the lives, the relationships that each of us have with our own fathers. And we see there's a lot of different relationships just in this group right here, right now. And that those journeys, there's an arc to those journeys, and there are challenges, and also reflecting on just how important it is that we not be so dependent on things that are beyond our control, but that we can take from it what we can. And on this journey, to see you step up the way you have, Mike Mers, and I know it's not always easy for you to push yourself. And so when I see these glimpses of you really emerging, it just warms my heart. So I can't wait to listen to what it is you have to say.
Thanks, Ben. I guess that brings me to this question. What do you call a father's emotional behavior?
What?
Datitude.
He got us again. Freaking Mers.
Even in sickness, he knows no bounds.
Datitude, really?
Datitude.
Oh my
dear. Don't give me any datitude. Don't give me any datitude.
Oh. Very
the
punny.
data definitely shows.
Hey.
Going home.
Okay. Well, Square 50's guy. I wonder if he made any progress on that radio show.
Oh, yeah.
I sure did, Ben, my boy. I've
Hey.
been putting my nose to the grind, making sure that whatever it is I want to do is smash. There's gonna be a smash hit show on the radio. So good on the radio that you might say soon that radio killed the video star. So, it's a show. It's all about how to address the problems in your community the right way. And it's called Dad to the Bone.
Bone. Really? Oh, Richard, Square 50's guy. Will you ever learn?
Nope.
Yeah.
Apparently not. All right. Any final words, fellas?
I got this from Inspirobot. Without crisis, there can be no lessons.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Deep stuff.
Inspiring.
Inspiring.
Nice datitude there, Merce.
that was my attitude.
That's your datitude.
Okay.
When does a
Oh.
when does a joke become a dad? What happens when a joke becomes a dad joke? It becomes
A
A parent. Hey. Good way to end it. All right. Well, that'll do it for us today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all in a couple weeks. And thank you, fellas, for being here. And we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to episode 17 of Sexy Dad Jokes. Please like and subscribe and visit sexydadjokes.com and get some merch. Something characters speaking in this show are not affiliated with Sexy Dad Jokes. Materials used in this episode are for criticism, comment, for reporting, teaching, scholarship, and/or research. Until next time. Oh yeah!
Oh my gosh!
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.